Okay, so a lair for Venomfang. His current location, or her current location, or whatever you want to designate the gender of this dragon. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's up to you, as far as I'm concerned. The current lair, the Ruins of Thunder Tree, is a very poor selection, and I'm sure a few of you have already figured that out, and you're looking for a different location. Now, I have mentioned, and other people have mentioned on the internet, that you could use something like Cragmaw Castle. Although it's in the forest, it doesn't have a water source, and surprisingly, green dragons prefer forest and a water source, if possible. Why a water source? Because they can breathe underwater. Like, this is the best place for a dragon to hang out and sleep, is just be underwater. Not actually be lying on a pile of a hoard of treasure in the open, in a place where you can breathe air. It actually makes much more sense to have them underwater, because they benefit so much by being underwater, and it's difficult for the player characters to deal with. So then it begs the question, okay, if we're not dealing with Cragmaw Castle, what about Cragmaw Hideout? Because there is a water source there. There's a waterfall at the back. There's a pool that's been dammed up, but it could be re-dammed by the dragon, and that could wind up being a fairly decent lair for Venomfang. But I think actually that pool's not deep enough. Ultimately, I think the best location for Venomfang is actually Wave Echo Cave. The booming cave way at the back there. It's nice and deep. There's a tunnel leading out of it. It looks like it probably goes or leads out to the sea in some way. Like there must be some way that whether it leads out to a stream or a river or a fall from the mountains. It's probably a fall from the mountains that feeds into this thing because of its position. Its position is sort of, it's not close to the coast, the Wave Echo Cave, is it? So maybe it's a fall or a spring that comes down from the mountains. That makes much more sense, that leads into this cave. But the pool there, that booming cave pool, right at the back of Wave Echo Cave, is much deeper. It's perfect for a green dragon, and Venomfang would be quite at home there. I think that's actually a better location. Because all of the passageways are much larger, because all the squares represented on the map are 10 feet, not 5 feet, it doesn't have to squeeze. Because it's a large creature, right? It needs at least 10 feet to be able to maneuver through things easily. And that's probably the smartest place to stick Venomfang. Now, how does that all work with regard to your adventure? Well, that kind of depends what you're trying to do. But yes, out of the best locations as a lair for Venomfang, I would say Wave Echo Cave at the top, followed by Cragmaw Hideout second. Third, I would say, is probably possibly the castle, and then I would say the Ruins of Thunder Tree is probably the last one. Remember, the castle is still in the forest, and yes, you might be thinking, yes, but Wave Echo Cave doesn't have a lot of forest nearby. Yeah, but there are some trees there, so I don't think that's necessarily the biggest issue. I think the water source is probably more important. That would be my advice to you, is out of the 4 possibilities as a lair, that's the order I would give.